Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss some MCQs based on the historical background of our Indian Constitution. Please pause after the question to guess the right answer. Regulating Act of 1773 is of great constitutional importance because it was the first step taken by the British government to control the affairs of the East India Company in India. It recognized for the first time the economic potential of East India Company. It laid the foundations for central administration in India. A. 1 and 3 are true. B. 2 and 3 are true. C. All the above. D. None. Answer is A. 1 and 3 are true. Option 2 is misleading because a regulating act recognized for the first time the political and administrative functions of the company. Question number 2. Features of the Regulating Act 1773 are: it designated the Governor of Bengal as the Governor General of Bengal and created an executive council of 4 members to assist him. It made the governors of Bombay and Madras presidencies subordinate to the Governor General of Bengal. It provided for the establishment of a Supreme Court at Calcutta in the year 1774. It prohibited the servants of the company from engaging in any private trade or accepting presents or bribes from natives. Option A. 1, 2, 3 are true. Option B. 1, 3 and 4 are true. Option C. All the above. Option D. None. Answer is C. All the above. Question number 3. Which of the following information about Pitt's India Act 1774 is or true? Option 1. It distinguished between the commercial and political functions of the company. It established a system of double government. The act was final step towards centralization. Company's territories in India were called British possessions for the first time. Option A. Only 2 and 3 are true. Option B. 1, 2 and 4 are true. Option C. All the above. Option D. None. Answer is B. 1, 2 and 4 are true. Question number 4. Which of the following information is true? Charter Act of 1833 made the Governor General of Bengal as the Governor General of India and vested in him all civil and military powers. The Governor General of India was given exclusive legislative powers for the entire British India. It ended the activities of the East India Company as a commercial body, which became a purely administrative body. Charter Act of 1833 was the final step towards centralization in British India. Option A. 1, 2, 3 are true. Option B. 1, 2 and 4 are true. Option C. All the above. Option D. None. Answer is C. All the above are true. Now question number 5. Which of the following acts changed the designation of Governor General of India to that of Viceroy of India? Option A. Charter Act of 1833. Option B. Charter Act of 1853. Option C. Government of India Act 1858. Option D. Indian Councils Act 1861. Answer is C. Government of India Act 1858. This act, known as the Act for the Good Government of India, abolished the East India Company and transferred the powers of government, territories and revenues to the British Crown. Question number 6. Indian Councils Act of 1861 reversed the centralizing tendency of which of the following acts? Option A. Regulating Act of 1773. Option B. Charter Act of 1833. Option C. Both. Option D. None. Answer is C. Both. Indian Councils Act of 1861 initiated the process of decentralization by restoring the legislative powers to the Bombay and Madras presidencies. It thus reversed the centralizing tendency that started from the Regulating Act of 1773 and reached its climax under the Charter Act of 1833. This policy of legislative devolution resulted in the grant of almost complete internal autonomy to the provinces in 1937. Now question number 7. Which of the following information is true about Indian Councils Act of 1861? It provided for the nomination of some Indians as non-official members of Viceroy's expanded council. It initiated the process of decentralization by restoring the legislative powers to the Bombay and Madras presidencies. It gave recognition to the portfolio system introduced by Lord Canning in 1859. It empowered the Viceroy to issue ordinances without the concurrence of the Legislative Council during an emergency. Option A, 1, 2, 3 are true. Option B, 1, 2 and 4 are true. Option C, all the above. Option D, none. Answer is C, all the above is true. Which of the following information is true about Indian Councils Act of 1909? Option 1. It provided for the association of Indians with the executive councils of the Viceroy and governors. Sir Dinakar Rao was the first Indian to join Viceroy's executive council. It introduced a system of communal representation for Muslims by accepting the concept of separate electorate. It also provided for the separate representation of presidency corporations, chambers of commerce, universities and zamindars. It increased the size of the legislative councils. Option A, 1, 2, 3 are true. Option B, 2, 3 and 4 are true. Option C, all the above. Option D, none. Answer is B, 2, 3 and 4 are true. Satyendra Prasad Sinha became the first Indian to join the Viceroy's Executive Council. He was appointed as a law member. Question number 9. Simon Commission recommended the following: abolition of diarchy, extension of responsible government in the provinces, establishment of a federation of British India and princely states, continuation of communal electorate. Option A, 1, 2, 3 are true. Option B, 2, 3 and 4 are true. Option C, all the above. Option D, none. Answer is C, all the above. In November 1927, the British government announced the appointment of a 7-member statutory commission under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. Its purpose was to report about the extent to which the Act of 1919 had worked out successfully. The main purpose was to determine India's fitness for self-government. Since the commission did not have a single Indian member, it was seen as an insult to the self-respect of Indians. Leaders boycotted the commission and greeted it with black flags and slogans, saying, "Simon, go back." Question number 10. Pune Pact is an agreement between Option A, Ramsay MacDonald and Gandhi. Option B, Congress leaders and the depressed classes. Option C, majority Hindus and other minorities. Option D, none. Answer is B, Congress leaders and the depressed classes. In August 1932, Ramsay MacDonald, the British Prime Minister, announced a scheme of representation of the minorities, which came to be known as the Communal Award. The award not only continued separate electorates for the Muslims, Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and Europeans, but also extended it to the depressed classes. Gandhiji was distressed over this extension of the principle of communal representation to the depressed classes and undertook fast unto death in Yarwada jail to get the award modified. At last, there was an agreement between the leaders of the Congress and the depressed classes. This agreement, known as Pune Pact, retained the Hindu joint electorate and gave reserved seats to the depressed classes. Question number 11. Which of the following introduced bicameralism for the first time in India? Option A, Morley Minto reforms. Option B, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Option C, Indian Councils Act 1892. Option D, Government of India Act 1935. Answer is B, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, also called the Government of India Act of 1919, came into force in 1921. Montagu was the Secretary of State for India and Lord Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. It relaxed the central control over the provinces by demarcating and separating the central and provincial subjects. The central and provincial legislators were authorized to make laws on the respective list of subjects. However, the structure of government continued to be centralized and unitary. It further divided the provincial subjects into two parts, transferred and reserved. The transferred subjects were to be administered by the governor with the aid of ministers responsible to the Legislative Council. The reserved subjects, on the other hand, were to be administered by the governor and his executive council without being responsible to the legislative council. This dual scheme of governance was known as diarchy, a term derived from the Greek word diarchy, which means double rule. However, this experiment was largely unsuccessful. It introduced for the first time bicameralism and direct elections in the country. Thus, the Indian Legislative Council was replaced by a bicameral legislature consisting of an upper house and a lower house. Question number 12. The Indian Independence Bill was introduced in the British Parliament on A. July 4, 1947, B. February 20, 1947, C. July 18, 1947, D. August 15, 1947. Answer is A. The Indian Independence Bill was introduced in the British Parliament on July 4, 1947 and received the royal assent on July 18, 1947. The Act came into force on August 15, 1947, which is celebrated as Independence Day of India. Question number 13. Which of the following information is true about Montagu-Chelmsford reforms 1919? Option 1. It introduced a double scheme of governance known as diarchy, dividing the provincial subjects into two parts, transferred and reserved. It introduced for the first time bicameralism and direct elections in the country, thereby dividing the Indian Legislative Council into an upper house and a lower house. It provided for the establishment of a Public Service Commission, hence a Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1926 for recruiting civil servants. It provided for the appointment of a statutory commission to inquire into and report on its working after 10 years of its coming into force. 1, 2, 3 are true. 2, 3, 4 are true. All the above. D. None. Answer is C. All the above. Which of the following information is true about Charter Act of 1853? It separated for the first time the legislative and executive functions of the Governor-General's Council. It established a separate Governor-General's Legislative Council, which came to be known as the Indian Central Legislative Council. It introduced for the first time local representation in the Indian Legislative Council. It introduced an open competition of selection and recruitment of civil servants. The covenanted civil service was thrown open to the Indians also. A. 1, 2, 3 are true. B. 2, 3 and 4 are true. C. All the above. D. None. Answer is C. All the above. Guys, it takes a lot of time and effort to make these videos. So please like, subscribe and share these videos. See you in the next video. Thank you.